use Gemini, which is Google's AI chatbot, to help me plan a unit on The Great Gatsby for my senior class. One of the things to know about AI is that it's not always perfect. It's not always going to give us exactly what we want. It's not always going to give us things that are accurate. So you always have to have a set of eyes on it. You always have to check things over because it may not be exactly what we want. But the more we prompt it, the more specific information we give it, the better the output is going to be. And if you continue to work with it within a chat and ask it to edit and modify, it will learn exactly what you're asking for and it will do a better job of giving you what you're looking for. So we're going to ask it to kind of act as an assistant to help me plan a unit on The Great Gatsby. So I'm going to ask, can you help me plan a unit for my senior class on The Great Gatsby? And if you're teaching a different subject area, it is very well versed in different content, different curriculum. It understands specific curriculum. You can say, I'm teaching illustrative math, I'm teaching HMH into literature. It is wildly knows all of these things. So it's going to ask you sometimes a lot of questions. What's your class size? What's your curriculum standards? How long do you want this to be? How do you want to measure student understanding? Is there differentiation? So it's giving us a lot of thought. Here's an outline, though, that it's providing to me. Week 1, week 2 and 3, week 4, week 5. So this looks really good, but I'm going to give it some more information. I need a unit outline for 5 days a week for 4 weeks. Let's just start there. Let's see what it gives us. So here it's going to give us a nice outline for these 4 weeks. Now, one of the things that I like is I'd really like this in a chart format. So can you make this a chart for me? Great. Now it's in a chart format. So it's giving me the week and the lesson and what's happening and what the activity is. But I want this a little more detailed. So can you add more details to each activity? Oh, let's try asking it again. Great. So now we have a little bit more detail. So I am going to ask it to try and create a lesson from one of these. So I am going to take the first activity and I'm going to ask it, can you make the lesson plan for this activity? And you know what? I want to make sure that my units are a lot more student-centered. My kids are having a hard time focusing. It's always a battle with cell phones. So I really want to make sure that I am doing a lot of student-centered, very engaging activities. So can you make sure it is student-centered and engaging? I'm going to paste in the suggestion for the activity and we're going to see what it comes up with. Great. So now I have my first lesson plan. I have my learning objectives. I have my materials, the procedure. Now, one of the things that I notice is it's long. So we have 25 minutes, 45 minutes. This is over an hour. I only have 45-minute classes. So I'm going to ask it, can you edit this to be 45 minutes total? Great. So now it's revised. Now, one of the things that I notice is that it's asking for primary source analysis. Where are these sources going to come from? I need some links. Can you give me links to the primary sources? Great. So now at least I have some specifics. So I know where I'm getting my stuff from. I know how to find it. Here's some links to places that I can find these primary sources. So now I don't have to go hunting around for it. It even shows us down here. Here's where I can find some of this stuff. So now it's all there. I noticed up here that it had a final project. So I want it to create the final project. So let's create the final project for this unit. I want it to be something creative. Amazing. So it's going to give me a choice board of options: multimedia, creative writing, visual art, dramatic performance, music or songwriting, requirements. Oh, it even made a rubric. But you know what? This is not a rubric. I need more developed. Can you make the rubric into a chart with 4 levels of proficiency? Let's see if that works. Amazing. Now, this doesn't have a lot of description, so I'm going to ask it to add a little more description. I want students to know exactly what's expected of them, so I'm going to make sure that Gemini understands that. Amazing. So now it's a lot more detailed. What does it mean to be highly creative? Pushes boundaries, challenges expectations, content knowledge, presentation, reflection. And I can go on and on. So you can just sit with AI. It can create our entire unit, lesson plans, rubrics, projects. You can ask it for modifications, differentiation, vocabulary supports. We can continue going in this thread. Gemini has just learned a lot about our classes, our lessons, our unit. So if you keep this thread open, you can keep going back to it, acting as an assistant, helping you build out a unit, helping you plan a scope and sequence. And you don't have to spend a ton of time sitting there, stressing out, racking your brain. I hope this is helpful.